Mr. Speaker, Defense Department service branches, only two, the Marine Corps and Space Force, met their active duty enlistment recruitment goals for the fiscal year 2023. Last year, the Army missed its recruiting goals by 25%. In the midst of this recruiting crisis, it makes zero sense to artificially limit the reach of our military recruitment advertisements. It is especially foolish when those limitations target the sites frequently visited by the people most likely to volunteer to serve.
And as a father, are you scared?
Very, very, especially with everything that's going on in the world right now and stuff that's happening and everything. Yeah, I think him going over there would not be a good idea, or anyone's child, unless they sign up to go ahead and go for it. Being forced, I'm totally against it.
Brandon Richards from Southfield is one of many people and parents who I spoke with about Congress passing its version of H.R. 8070. The National Defense Authorization Act was passed by the House with a 217 voting yes and 199 voting no. This bill will unlikely be taken up by the U.S. Senate. The amendment would automatically register men ages 18 to 26 with the Selective Services System for a possible draft. The new automatic registration system would replace the existing system that has been in place since 1980.
I don't feel that it's fair. My son will have to go ahead and go and fight for his country. Now, it's okay if you have a choice. Now, if we sign up for it, yeah, but to be forced, I don't think that every American should have to go through that.
21-year-old Louis Barbot of West Bloomfield said this news about the automatic registration for the draft was a topic of conversation amongst his friend group over the weekend.
A little bit nervous, but something that our country's been dealing with before. Small change. But whatever happens, happens.
It does make me nervous in our current political climate with people like seeming to want to fight and want to go to war. So, yeah, I'm always leery. I mean, my dad lived through Vietnam and, he dealt with the draft. And so it's something that always makes me nervous.
26 is too young. And I don't want, fortunately, my kids are older than that. But a lot of the kids will be coming back in a box. And I don't think that's fair.
I would be for it because I think it's, we need a strong military.
Yo, what's goody? Wavy. Me, wifey, had to take the kids on a little vacation, take a couple days out from work. I'm back in the building, in the studio, about to be pumping out these videos. Let me finish this week strong. I did actually record last night, believe it or not, but for some reason, my input was all messed up with my microphone. I recorded 2 videos last night. U.S. military, is there a draft in 2024? And before we get to the story, I just want to know, does the government know something is coming? Maybe in the next 5 to 10 years, they see that the patriotism, pretty much the love for this country, has gone down tremendously over the last decade plus, and people are not signing up for the military like they once did. And they're actually using this section of the National Defense Authorization Act to get more people into the various branches of the military. Now, before we get to it, I want to speak to a lot of people that have children out there, maybe people that will be starting families soon. How do you feel about this happening? Now children, young men ages 18 to 26 are going to be automatically enlisted into the draft or the selective services. So if there is a draft, they can potentially be sent off to war. We see the climate around the world. We have all these various wars either taking place or on the brink of taking place. Article says the House of Representatives passed a measure on Friday automatically registering men aged 18 to 26 for selective service. While it hasn't been invoked in over half a century, it's mandatory for all male U.S. citizens to register for the selective service, also known as the military draft, when they turn 18. So in over 50 years, this actual law has not been invoked. It hasn't been implemented. Here we are. So again, I say, are we headed into something? Do they know something is coming that they just have not told us about? While there isn't currently a draft in place, Congress and the president can reinstate the draft. There you go. And force male citizens to serve in the military in the event of a national emergency or war that all volunteer military can't adequately support. So there you have it. Men ages 18 to 26, you are going to be automatically enrolled into the draft for the selective service. So if ever there is an emergency or we are called to war, you guys are going to be the first ones and I think this comes off of low enrollment. We see it in the police forces around the country, and now we're seeing it in the military around the country. So now we're going to get into who needs to register, okay? Because this to me is mind-blowing, all right? I thought that we lived in a time of equality. I thought it was 2024 where women could do everything a man could do. A man and a woman are pretty much, the same thing. There is no difference between the two. I'm wondering, why is it only that men are being registered? Okay, why are only men? You know, these women, you know, that are just as equal, just as capable, and just as competent as men out here, why are they being you know, there's some sort of bigotry against the women?
In case you missed it, the U.S. House of Representatives passed a bill the other day that automatically requires all men 18 through 25 to automatically register for the Selective Service, which means that you don't have to tell America you love your country so much you ready to go to war for it. They already know. A couple problems I have with the bill. First one, it be 2024. Where are the girls? They told us they'd take their chances with a bear. I would never fight a bear. I know better. Get that motherfucker a musket and put her on the battlefield. These men don't be men no more. Show us how it's done, baby. Show time to shine. Grab your boots, grab a grenade, and you show us how to be a man. About to be in a war because y'all know how to pay people their money back and mind y'all business. I hope it don't come to a draft. I hope it's about to be Muhammad Ali. He Muhammad. I'm Muhammad.
So who needs to register? All men who are 18 to 25 years old and live in the U.S. must register for the Selective Service. We're going to get to this because it's going to be some crazy stuff. All right, let's check this out. U.S. citizens, U.S.-born dual citizens, and naturalized. U.S. citizens who live outside the country. Immigrants, legal permanent residents, and undocumented immigrants. Now, I've never served in the armed forces, and I appreciate everyone either who is active right now or plans to in the future. I appreciate you because you do a lot of the jobs that a lot of people don't want to do, can't do, or just won't do. Has anyone served in the armed forces, either has served or presently served? And if you're watching this video, let me know, have you guys served alongside undocumented immigrants? Okay, we don't know who these people are, where they coming from, what they did in a previous lifetime, you know, before they came to this country. And now we're going to send them overseas. Let me add a little bit more fuel. We have a lot of military-aged men going to the southern border and coming into the country, right? We see military-aged men from Asian countries, African countries, I'm sure even Australian countries. Like, we're seeing them from all over the place. And then now they're going to be going into the military to get some of the finest weaponry in the world, to now have to go maybe even to some of the countries that they're fleeing from. Like, you know, but let me know in the comments below. It goes on to say refugees and asylum seekers. So again, are refugees and asylum seekers as well as undocumented immigrants in the military right now? For all I know, these people got here within the last 4 years. Let's just say since 2020, they've been coming in. All right. And then now we're going to train them on taxpayer dollars and then send them to fight for the U.S. and then think that their allegiance is 100% to the U.S. when they came here illegally and dishonestly. Y'all let me know. More people needing to register. Transgender people who were assigned male at birth. But wait, I thought that the science has been telling me that if somebody is born one gender at birth, that they can transition and become the gender that they always felt that they were. Now they're saying right here that people signed up for the draft are going to be transgender people who were assigned male gender at birth. So pretty much what we've been saying, even if a transgender male or woman wants to be called a woman, that's not a woman. You were still assigned a male at birth.
Excuse me, it's ma'am. It is ma'am.
I can call the police if you'd like me to. You need to settle down.
You need to settle down and mind your business.
According to this, those people are males too. So would it be misgendering for somebody to call them a male or a sir or a he if based on getting registered for the draft, just like any men age 18 to 26, trans people will fall there too. I'm just saying.
It is ma'am.
Also, people with disabilities. Do people with disabilities usually serve in the armed services? Like, I don't know. As far as I've known, I mean, I've heard of people even being discharged after finding out that they have some sort of mental disability, or even after they get hurt and have a physical disability, then they're released from the military. Let me know if I'm wrong. Conscientious objectors are required to register. All right, this part right here stuck with me a little bit. A conscientious objector is one who is opposed to serving in the armed forces and or bearing arms on the grounds of moral or religious principles. All right, and what this brought to my mind when I was reading it is, so even if you don't believe in going to war, if you don't believe in, shedding blood, if you believe in peace, you still have to be signed up. And then that reminded me of I remember Muhammad Ali. Back in the day, I believe it was during Vietnam War. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it was during the Vietnam War where they implemented the draft and he didn't want to go. It was either Nam or Korea. I believe it was one of those two. And Muhammad Ali was drafted. Okay, he didn't want to go. All right, and he eventually, I believe he was arrested in jail for some time, and I believe he was stripped of his titles for some time. All right, and then right here is just a group of athletes, black athletes that stood with him in solidarity. All right, we have a couple noticeable faces right here. We got Bill Russell, the NBA great right here. And then over here we got Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, another NBA great. And then mixed in we have a whole bunch of old school NBA greats. If you are 26 or older, it's too late to register, okay? So 18 to 26, 26 and over, you're out of that draftable age. All right, so I'm out of that draftable age, but I'm more worried about, the younger children. I have children, and children that are going to be born and family members. Now, all of a sudden, all these children are signed up to go to war. Now, if they want to go to war and fight for the country out of their own volition, I don't care. Go ahead. If that's what you decide to do, go ahead. But if it's mandatory, where they're telling people that they have to sign up to go to, be deployed potentially, be on the front line potentially, be killed potentially. No, I'm against that, especially when I don't believe in any of these wars that's going on. All right, we got Palestine and Israel. Okay, those are Jews and Muslims. I don't want. What do we have business over there? I'm a Christian. I have nothing to do with that going on over there. You also have Ukraine and Russia. Well, again, what does that have to do with us? I don't understand why we're sending billions of dollars to Ukraine. What do I owe Ukraine? Nothing. And then we talk about China and Taiwan. What do we have to do with that? I understand that that's something, I get it. China's a big, military force that could go in and take down Taiwan. And one of the only things keeping them from maybe is Taiwan's allies, but is it only on America to be doing this? And then now, not only are we sending hundreds of billions of dollars, now we have to sacrifice our children as well. That's what I got the problem with. The article continues, are women eligible to register for the draft? The law currently requires that only men register with Selective Service. In the event that the law is changed to include registering women, Selective Service is prepared to expand registration. So as of right now, the women being signed up is not mandatory. All right, it's just the men. And it doesn't matter if you're a man that was born a man, but then think you were a girl and then went back to thinking you were a puppy dog and then thought you were a unicorn. Nah, they're still seeing you as a man. According to this new bill, people that will be able to be registered could kind of look like this person who is one of the many highly decorated members of our military service. And let's hear what they got to say.
Hi, I'm Major Rachel Jones. And what Pride means to me is celebrating that diversity is our strength as a nation and as an army. Pride means something very special to me as a LGBTQ individual, and it's a chance to show everyone what we have to offer in terms of the diverse skill sets that we bring and the diverse ways of thinking we bring into the team to make everything work better.
Are y'all ready for this to be the future of the military services of America? Like I said, I still appreciate and respect all of these veterans. And, if you do serve and that's how you decide to live your life, fine, so be it. If you're still here, I appreciate you. And to help get this video out to even more people, it goes a far way for the channel. If you drop a like, join in on the conversation with a comment, and hit the subscribe button. What do you think about the U.S. starting back up the draft that recently passed in the National Defense Authorization Act, where men age 18 to 26 are going to be, signed up to serve in the selective services, And and a lot of it is due to low support for the military, low American patriotism, and they needed a way to make the numbers for their recruits so that they can meet their quotas. That's what it all came down to. That's what I'm seeing it as, and I don't agree with it. Again, we shouldn't be fighting any wars, domestic or foreign. Or do you think the military needed more numbers, and, you know, if they need illegal immigrants and refugees and asylum seekers and disabled people and transgender people, then those are Americans that deserve to fight for their country as well. And if they want to sign up, hey, they can do it. And or do you think males 18 to 26, transgenders aren't males and they don't want to be, they're females, and you know, they shouldn't have to be signed up for the armed services because that's restricted only to men. You know, I'm all over the place with this because there's so many different angles. Also, the feminists, how do you feel about women not being able to be sent on the front line? How do you feel about all these women sacrificing so much over all these years just for, once again, women to be relegated to taking care of the kids and staying in the kitchen? Meanwhile, the men got to go fight overseas. The women are just as able-bodied, just as powerful, just as competent, that they should be right there alongside the men. Matter of fact, they should replace the men and send the men back home to put them in the kitchen with the kids. You know, either way y'all feeling, let me know whatever y'all thinking in the comments below. Without too much more, let me get to my final clip, all right? I hope that, you know, in the spirit of us talking about potential wars and stuff like that, that you and myself and all of our children can get to, you know, a beautiful 85 plus years old and be able to stay as, you know, limber as this young man right here.
All right, my friend Phil here is about to do a backflip. Come on, Phil, it's just a number. You got this.
Damn, it feels good to be a gang.
Hey man, y'all be safe and stay wavy.